Bandidos, we are live. Welcome in. Wednesday, September 6th, almost 5 p.m., streaming from the Pacific Northwest. Today, we are covering the PTS patch notes for the new upcoming season, and this will be Title Update 19. Are they going to be good, bad, or ugly? Let's find out together. So the PTS is gonna preload here in the next couple of days. It's gonna be a short one, and we're gonna cover all the details about that. But just to give you a quick heads up, I am liking what I'm seeing so far. I have some good first impressions. PTS patch notes. So this is gonna be for season 2, and then the start date for the PTS is September 8th. This PTS is only for PC, so it's sort of a small community here that's gonna be able to test. Monday, September 11th will be the end date. It's only gonna be a few days, and the reason why is because they're not going to be testing the incursion. They're only going to need feedback on the gear. Sort of good news and bad news, I guess, because, you know, it's nice to get the incursions in early. From my past experience with Countdown and Summit and basically everything, the feedback never gets processed in the next update anyways, unless there's something game breaking, and hopefully they have the quality assurance personnel to at least check for that. But we'll see. So not a big deal. And so that kind of keeps it all a nice little surprise so we don't get the spoils. Okay, so it starts off with some Descent buffs. Descent is the new game mode. They buffed the Descent rewards across all loops for level 40 players, which is cool. They don't give us any detail here, but they buffed it. We'll see what that means. But what I really like here is they got our feedback and they're processing it. That's nice. Maybe that's first of many updates. Maybe this is the final update. I don't know. But let's see how the community receives it. But on the surface, it's looking pretty darn good. Increase the chance to receive reconstructed and exotic caches from defeating the nemesis from 12% to 50%. That's amazing. Those reconstructed caches are highly valuable to creating really cool builds because you can get versions of things. We're talking like Emperor's Guard knee pads, death grips, punch drunks, whatever. Anything that's a named item, whether it's a dark zone item or not, you'll be able to craft it and get possible different versions of that item without waiting for it to drop from a named item cache. Either way, it's RNG and you're rolling dice, but much more convenient. And I'm not quite sure what they mean by increased chance for exotic cache, because I'm pretty sure that's a guaranteed. There are so many details that are left out in the patch notes. This is my reputation. This is not my opinion. There's so much more going on here. They just highlighted the 3 bullet points, and sometimes I feel like it's random because it's like in the past, there's always these other updates that sneak in there and you're like, wow, new discovery. We're like discovering it as we go. They don't always make the patch notes. So there's other things going on here. We don't know, but we can't speculate either. So let's just take it for face value at the moment. So they added new talents, which is also good because that's part of the feedback that we sent in too. I'm gonna look at the utility here. When you're trying to buff your character in Descent, you don't want too many options, because if you're looking for something like more RPM boosts, like rapid fire or something like that, right? Then you don't want to have RNG throwing so many different options at you, and it takes forever to buff and get the full stacks on that talent. This might not make sense to you if you haven't played Descent. The less options that RNG has, the greater chance of you getting what you're looking for. The definitions in the Descent game mode aren't exactly the same as the definitions we experience in the regular game mode. On the offensive side, we get Intimidate, Rifleman, Overwhelm, and Pummel. I really like Pummel. That's a big deal to be able to stack Pummel on top of Opportunistic. So that's really interesting. Intimidate's also nice. So another very good offensive option if you're running something that's giving you lots of bonus armor. So these are cool. I like those, and I'm glad they didn't give us too much. I'm not sure how I feel about Overwhelm. Then we got Empathetic Resolve and Kinetic Momentum and the exotic area. So that means it's going to be different. I don't know what that means. You know what I mean? Defensive is efficient, and that is armor kits. So there's a chance of not using armor kits. Yeah, the number one thing that I said is that we need more defensive options. That was a big thing for me. I see a lot of potential with the new gear. Check this out. Lengmo is the new brand set. We got 20% explosive resistance when you run one piece. 2 pieces give you 10% skill health, and 3 pieces equipped give 15% LMG damage. My first thoughts on that is it's kind of a random mixed bag. I know why they're doing it. The skill health is for the flame turret. So they're trying to drive some energy into the flame turret. The truth is that I'm not a big fan of skill health, and 10% isn't a game changer. I'd rather have skill efficiency, and I think that's what that should be. I think that's a waste. This is the deal. When it comes to brand sets, and devs, I hope you're listening to this right now. When it comes to brand sets, they need to be more enticing the deeper you get, the more of the brand you run, more exciting it should get. I think the first and the third thing need to be the most exciting. And maybe the second thing. I don't know, they all need to be exciting. I'm thinking about the Ninja Bike backpack too, right? But in many cases, we run one piece of a brand set. That's like very common, right? One piece Cheska, one piece Grupo, one piece Providence, one piece whatever. We want that first one to be really, really good. And I actually like it as explosive resistance. I'm not gonna lie, I think that's amazing. And we're gonna talk about that more. But the second piece giving us skill health and the third piece giving us LMG damage? No, I mean, who's gonna run 3 pieces for 15% LMG damage? Not I. And I'm not gonna run an LMG with explosive resistance. It'll be rare. If I'm gonna run skill health, the main reason is gonna be for your turret and your drone, and the other one is your shield. So those are the 3 things: turret, drone, and shield. And turret and drones pull so much aggro that health is a big deal for those. To see this get skill health in there, I think if it was skill efficiency, it'd be more enticing, but it's still not the worst thing. At the very least, they need to get rid of LMG damage. Now, the reason why I think skill health isn't horrible is because explosive resistance skill builds, I've created a few of them for legendary content, are actually freaking amazing. And I know a lot of you are running them. And if you guys know what I'm talking about, those builds are amazing for legendary. That's actually that first 2. I don't mind that. It's a compliment to R and K, and R and K is really good. So R&K gives you income and repair and explosive resistance. And so this pushes explosive resistance to the top. So if you run 2 pieces of R&K and 1 piece of Lengmo, you got yourself, what is it? Is that 30 or 40% explosive resistance? I can't remember what R&K is, but that's great, right? That's a good start. And because you're running that with a skill build, because skill builds handle explosive resistance the best because they're easy to power up, and snipers, that is going to go to your skills, which are going to be your turret and your drone. So, so that I can make that work. We can make some pretty cool builds with that. However, I would rather have something else in skill health, and it could also be good for tank builds. If you're running a bulwark tank build, explosive resistance is going to be good because that's your biggest threat in legendary, and your shield could use more skill health. It's a skill. The shield is a skill. That's most likely the same skill health that comes on the R&K holster, the Forge, which is sort of crap. The Motherly gloves also have that skill health. So it's something though. So anyways, the LMG damage at the tail end, it's just like, really? I'm not going to run the third piece for 15% additive damage. I mean, what kind of build is that? All right, 3 of your pieces are dedicated to nothing, and you come out with 15%, you know what I mean? Explosive, you would be really weak to run that. If you're going to run an LMG, you might be looking at Striker and Heartbreaker. There's 4 pieces, so you're not even going to get to your LMG damage here with a Striker build or with a Heartbreaker build, and a Heartbreaker build is an LMG setup. Getting to that LMG damage is going to create a cluster of a build. Anyways, so let's look at the name chest piece Carpenter, and they're giving us a perfect of a talent that we already have, and that talent's called Mad Bomber. So perfectly Mad Bomber. Grenade radius is increased by 75%. Grenades that kill an enemy are refunded. Grenades can now be cooked by holding the fire button, making them explode earlier. Allows to gain 15% bonus armor while aiming when throwing out a grenade. So a little bonus armor is nice. So the grenade radius is the big buff. I believe it went from 50 to 75. So either way, that's a nice increase right there at 75%. I gotta say though that really when you run this, it's really for the grenade radius. When we talk about grenades today, I want you to close your eyes and envision the incendiary grenade, the fire grenade, because all of this, what you haven't seen yet, is related to fire. Remember when I said that the devs release things on theme, in a theme? Everything in this season is going to be fire related. I think they're thinking about fire. I know Lengmo they are, and Lengmo they're thinking about fire, and you'll see why in a minute. And this chest piece, they're thinking of, if you run this chest piece, you can also throw fire grenades. So this is all about fire. So named backpack is going to be called Backbone. Perfectly unstoppable force, which is interesting here. I mean, it complements LMGs a little bit. I have used it with the Pestilence actually. But killing an enemy increases total weapon damage by 5% for 15 seconds instead of 10, I believe. And stacks up to 7 instead of 5. That's a good backpack right there. Too bad it starts with explosive resistance. But if you're a sniper, that's great, because what sniper build doesn't go good with the Sawyer's knee pads for legendary? And even for not legendary, those knee pads give you some explosive resistance as well as can't be staggered. So 1 piece of Lengmo for 20% explosive resistance using the name backpack would be some really good damage, stronger than vigilance. It's the same type type of damage as vigilance, except you have to earn it, and this will surpass it, vigilance, and it can't be taken away from you only by time. It's always been an option, and it's actually been pretty good with snipers. I just tend to not need damage on my backpack, but some people love running overkill. So, you know, there you go, some more overkill. And then they added this grenade kills adds 2 stacks, so they gave it some random thing there. So, okay. Ortiz is the gear set. So we're moving on to gear sets now. This is a crazy gear set, and I think I like it crazy. There's some good things and some bad things. So 2 pieces equipped. This is the same pattern as all gear sets. So 2, 3, and 4 pieces. 2 pieces equipped give 20% burn duration plus 15% skill health. A lot of skill health here. So there's 15% skill health, and then the brand set's giving us 10%. So I guess they're anticipating this skill to take a lot of heat. Pun not intended. So 3 pieces equipped gives 40% burn damage. So damage and duration. That's a great combination. It's going to increase the damage over time combination there. So 4 pieces equipped unlock a new unique turret talent. Going to take your turret, the existing turret, and it's going to turn it into a turret prototype. The incinerator turret spins 360 degrees. That's cool. So right now it's like you have to set a direction, and then it does this. I'm not sure what the angle is. Maybe it's like a 45 degree, something like that. So this is going to allow it to spin all the way. That's really cool, guys. So the reason why that's cool is because the devs just broke into a new way of developing gear sets. They have just created a hybrid gear set that changes the way an existing skill actually functions just by running this. So it takes a turret that normally spins this way and makes it spin 360. It unlocks a capability for a skill. That's really unique. I can't think of anything else that's like that. Can you guys? So this actually changes the functionality of a skill. That's pretty cool. I like the concept here, and I hope to see more of that concept going forward. Okay, you are immune to your own incinerator's turret fire, because I know you were thinking that, right? But like, holy shit, I'm gonna catch myself on fire. Not anymore. You'll be able to stand in the middle of this 360 degree turning fire damage. The incinerator turret explodes when disabled. So I hope you can't blow yourself up. It's probably gonna be like special delivery, whatever it's called. And so I wonder if you can still turn the fire on and off. So the only thing that's weird here is the skill health. I don't know why they're doing this. One of the reasons why I think they're doing this is, let me tell you why. It doesn't say if we're getting skill tiers or anything with this gear set. It could be a red gear set, which means if you're not running skill tiers, then that thing is going to have low skill health, so they're building that in there. That's my guess. That would be good news, because one of the questions that you might have in your mind right now is, well, why wouldn't I just run Eclipse Protocol or Rigor or one of the other skill-based gear set? And my guess is because this is going to be either a damage build set, a weapon damage-based gear set. If it is a skill-based, then you know, it's just going to be a really strong one that's limited to burn. You understand? So we'll see. We'll see. That's the good. The bad side is that this gear set is only going to be good if you're running the turret, right? You guys see that, right? I mean, you're not going to run 4 pieces unless you're running the turret. I don't like things that locked in. The other thing is that the reason why this is a really serious impact to the game is because we have space issues. So if we were going to try to use this build for just one build, or use this gear set for just one build, then we're going to lose something else that's important to us that might be providing more build diversity. It has more diversity in use and application. But you can still run 2 and 3 pieces with another skill build and use your chems, right? So if you're gonna run 4 pieces of Eclipse, a 2-piece of Ortiz might complement that 4-piece. Now you're getting 20% burn duration, 40% burn damage, and then chest and backpack. So the chest bonus is called Chain Combustion. Enemies set ablaze by the Ortiz incinerator turret prototype ignite other enemies within 2 meters. So it's like a mini creeping death without running creeping death. That's cool because it's on your chest piece. Backpack bonus is called Heat Stroke. So 25% weapon damage to enemies set on fire by the Ortiz incinerator turret prototype. 25% Ortiz incinerator turret prototype range. Oh my gosh, that's a big deal, the range. And so I don't know if you've ever seen a tier 6 turret, but it's crazy. A tier 6 turret is crazy. Tier 6 turret plus 25% range. It's rotating 360 degrees and you're immune to that fire. If you can't visualize the application here, look at the fire as a wall of protection. Your allies are already immune to your fire. It was only you that wasn't. So if you put that fire turret right in the center of your crew and let it spin 360 degrees, what you have is a wall of fire around you. It's a rush prevention, unless it's a tank or some sort of robotic. You just need an answer for robotics. So maybe that other skill besides the incinerator can be an EMP. Really interesting. So I think there's some possibilities here. Collector exotic chess piece. Close your eyes and imagine incendiary grenades. You can be a full-time status effect fire dealer with this chest piece. Imagine that gear set or tease everything we talked about. 20% burn duration, 40% burn damage, and now you have unlimited fire grenades. That would be sick if you could get Mad Bomber in the backpack. Oh, please devs change that, because then we could run the exotic chest and Mad Bomber on our backpack. That's sick. This is actually pretty cool. I think this is good, man. I mean, even for a medic, any of your wingman builds, any of your team support builds. I wouldn't run this on my DPS build. Yeah, and the sledgehammer, good call there. And the sledgehammer will be a great one for this. So anyways, this is really cool. You're gonna increase your grenade capacity. It's sort of like the Acosta's backpack that way. You're gonna get the big grenade radius. That's the same thing sort of as the Mad Bomber, which gives you 75%. This is 50. Plus 35% grenade damage. And then 25% grenade plus 25% grenade for each extra enemy caught in the blast. I think that's damage. Automatically, we regenerate grenades every 60 seconds, guys. Automatically, we generate grenades every 60 seconds, up to 2 grenades. It's not just 1 every 60 seconds, it's 2. It's a very specific application. You're most likely gonna be running Survivalist. I think they're making some adjustments. Again, all speculations in season 4. The grenades are gonna be open and selectable, and you can just choose whatever grenade you're gonna want. But I don't know that. That is complete speculation. So this could open up a little bit more. Anyways, but either way, I am excited about this. I think that this will be really cool. There's already a synergy there, and this will make the Pyromaniac kind of come back to life a little bit. It's a good gun, and you should have ample fire here. Okay, exotic weapons. So we're gonna get 3 exotics this season, like we're accustomed to, but they stopped doing it for 2 seasons in a row. So this exotic weapon is called the Iron Lung. It's another exotic LMG. Boy, do we have a lot of those. So shooting heats the weapon up, filling the heat meter. The meter is equivalent to 50% of the weapon's standard magazine size. Okay, when the meter is full, rounds shot by the weapon will ignite enemies. So when not shooting, the meter constantly depletes. So you want a big mag, obviously. So that's why they thought of LMGs. Reloading or swapping to another weapon will deplete the meter, as you would expect. So really easy to earn. So this is gonna be a good LMG. It's gonna be a good exotic because it's point and shoot. You don't even have to hit an enemy. This is interesting, guys. Think about St. Elmo, because St. Elmo is on hit to get the stack. With this one, you don't. Just shooting heats up the weapon, right? So you can't do this in the testing range and then go out in the game because the meter will deplete, right? So just shooting half of your mag. I hope it's got 100 rounds, maybe 150, maybe 200. We'll see. We don't know what kind of LMG this is, but I hope it's a good one. But shot by the weapon will ignite enemies. Now, the only thing that I don't like is that there's no like pyromaniac type talent here. You're just catching them on fire. So this is good for Wicked. It's also good for ongoing directive. Eclipse. There's some application here. I just wish that it had all of a sudden you're on the second half of your mag, you're getting some sort of more damage because they're on fire. So it's missing that piece. It's just status effects. So here's the weird part. I don't know how this is gonna work. We have weapons like this before. The Scorpio applies a status effect. The St. Elmo's also applies a status effect. They both apply a shock. Let's just focus on that. What's the difference? Well, the shock from Scorpio is part of the talent. And St. Elmo's, the shock is not part of the talent. The talent has nothing to do with shock. The the talent earns you shock ammo, and the shock comes with the ammo. Because the shock is on the ammo, status effects can change the duration of that shock. But if the shock was part of the talent, like Scorpio, status effects on your build will not increase the duration in which they are under that status effect. We don't know how this is gonna work yet, because the way it reads is pretty unique. It makes me think it's more like the Scorpio, in which you're not gonna be able to increase the burn duration by running status effects on your build. However, it will work for things like the Biomask, which is cool. So you can have some damage over time ticks happening there. The downside is, what happens when you shoot an enemy with a fire bullet who's already on fire? It's a waste of a fire round, isn't it? Same issue that St. Elmo's has, why we kind of start to dismiss the shock after a while. And the difference between shock and fire, well, fire causes them to act chaotic and they actually run away. Shock holds them still and makes them easier to kill. You know, those are the downsides I see here, and I can see them from a mile away. And so I think we're gonna need some damage increase on this weapon, because we're gonna use all of that ammo on a single enemy. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna pump 50% of our mag of fire rounds into 1 or 2 enemies. We'll see how this works. It's really good. It's got a lot of potential, but it's gonna run into some of the same things that we struggled with in other weapons that have status effects. So for one, I hope they treat it like special ammo so that we can increase the duration of that fire with status effects. That opens up the weapon to a lot more builds. All right, the new exotic SMG is called Oroboros. I don't know how to pronounce that, but talent, rule them all. So when the agent has a status effect applied to them, so when you're under a status effect, 50% of the ammo in the next magazine will apply the same status effect to their targets. This effect will only occur during combat. Fine. This is exclusive to a new incursion. So you have to play the new incursion to get that. Not usually a problem. So when you have the status effect, you're basically returning the favor. So if an enemy catches you on fire, it gives you fire for half of your mag. Is that gonna be riot foam bullets? With Rule Them All, you can use your SMG until you get your status effect. Once you do, then you store it as a secondary weapon. And half of your mag, usually they're 50 round mags, I hope it's 50, 25 rounds of some sort of status effect, whether it's riot foam. I mean, imagine that. And that's why we talk about status effects a lot. And we've been talking about where the devs are in this game. And so one of the things that we've been talking about, and this is what's really interesting about this season and last season, is that we talked about like where they are with the maturity of this game. The enemies cannot be buffed anymore from the damage side because they're already so damn spongy. And so the devs are at a place where we're at this the pinnacle of power creep. You can't increase the damage coming out of the enemies, and you can't increase the damage coming out of the player base. We play in squads, and so they're gonna have to rebalance the NPCs if they increase our damage. We're already at that place. The way the devs are looking to make the game more difficult is through hazards, but it's also a way for us to become more powerful indirectly by immobilizing the enemy. It's really interesting to see them doing this. It's sort of what I expect at this stage of our game. So named weapons and talents. So stabilized weapon talent. So we got steady hands. This reminds me of that. There's stabilized 1% weapon accuracy and 1% stability per bullet shot up to 60%. Stopping shooting will start a timer of 2 seconds. After of which the bonus is reset. We'll see what weapons it gives. So the Tommy SMG, I mean, what were they thinking there? It does need weapon stability though. The good side is it does have a decent base weapon damage, 4-second timer. So you get a bigger buff here in handling and then a 4-second timer. So, I mean, it's all right. But here we go. Born Great, named military G36, a very good weapon. G36, a lot of people like this weapon. It's close to the P416 and the Police M4. It's right there in that category, as well as the carbine. Yeah, the carbine. So the G36, if you like the carbine, you're gonna like the G36. Let me ask you guys this question. Like, why would you run stabilize over steady hands? So steady handed gives you accuracy and stability up to 100, and you get a free reload. Okay, the reason why is because you can maintain it. You can maintain it. Reach what 75% reload, get back to shooting, and you still got your 75%. where steady-handed, you get the free reload, but then you start from 0 and you work your way back up. Okay, so tip of spear, 2 pieces equipped gives 20% signature weapon damage. It's 10%, so they buffed it. Wow. Yeah, so they doubled that. And then 3 pieces is the same, 10% weapon damage. 4 pieces equipped unlocks aggressive recon, plus 15% signature weapon damage for 5 seconds. Okay, so the change to this really, now it used to be 20%, I think, but the change to this is the word kill. So before you didn't have to kill an enemy, you only had to damage them. So this is kind of crap because it's only for 5 seconds and then 25% reload speed, which makes that more useful for the next reload of the weapon. So it stockpiles that. The bonus do not stack. So cool, so you earn it once, and then once you get to that reload, you'll be able to use it. Automatically regenerate signature weapon ammo every 60 seconds. That's the same. Okay, so it's just signature weapon damage for 5 seconds instead of everything. Yeah, that sucks. So basically what's going on here is they're trying to make this a full-time special weapon, a bonus here. So because dealing damage with this signature weapon increases total weapon damage. So basically what we would do is get damage with our TAC 50 and then switch over to our sniper, get another kill with whatever, your White Death, and then, you know, you didn't have to worry about aggressive recon anymore until you duffed a shot, lost your bonus. Your headhunter bonus. If you're a sniper, what this means, like using your TAC 50, which is the best application for aggressive recon in my opinion so far, but maybe with the changes that will change. What you're gonna wanna do is actually get a kill with your sniper and then get another kill with your TAC 50. So get 2 kills with your TAC 50 and then switch to your White Death. And then you're gonna get this 15% signature weapon damage included in your headhunter stack when you swap over to your White Death or whatever your other sniper is. As long as headhunter's active, then this damage application will transfer with your weapon swap. But without headhunter, that's useless for you. So we'll still be able to make this work for our rifle builds and White Death builds, it looks like. These changes, as I understand it, are to coincide with the talents. So there's a reason why they made that change and it's gonna appear down here. So the chest bonus, it's called Specialized Destruction, 50% weapon damage for 15 seconds. So they're giving you a reason to run the chest piece. Holy crap, guys. The only downside is you have to fully deplete the signature weapon ammo. We talked about this the other day. I think that's crap. And then it doubles the ammo regenerated by aggressive recon. So that used to be the backpack talent, but that's great damage. And so this isn't going to be good for the sniper. This would be good for like the grenade launcher or probably the fire, as well as the minigun. So the backpack is an important one. Increased aggressive recon signature weapon damage bonus from 15 to 30%. Holy shit, that is huge. Every 3rd signature weapon kill generates signature weapon ammo. 30% weapon damage bonus is a really good cool thing. I'd probably run the backpack anyways, you know, but it's a play from cover type setup, but that 30% would allow you to roll a lot more armor or skill tiers or whatever you want to do to your sniper build, because that 30% is going to transfer inside headhunter. That's the reason why it's exciting, because switching weapons isn't going to get the benefit of that unless you're running headhunter, because headhunter picks up on that. It's going to take that kill with the 30% damage from aggressive recon signature moves. It's going to take that damage and it's going to multiply it by 1,250% as long as you have 150% headshot damage on your build. So this is pretty cool for snipers. For everything else, we'll have to wait and see. There's no conditions to this, and that makes it a good backpack. It's a strong damage. The only condition is a kill. Every 3rd kill gives you more ammo, but it's more of something that's already happening. So yeah, that's cool. Quality of life changes. Exotic caches are now available for purchase at DZ vendors in any of the 3 locations. Reduce stinger hives range by 30% in PvP. Reduce stinger hives range. That's good. That's great. Congratulations, PvP players. That's a big deal. You know how popular stinger hives are in that game mode? Holy crap. And so this is that's a big decrease. So that's huge. How do we feel about this? So Morton, I believe, put out a tweet saying that this isn't going to include the raid exclusives. And I'm not sure if he meant the Eagle Bearer, but I think that's what he meant. Why would you spend DZ resources on exotic caches? And the only thing I could think of is you got so many DZ resources because you play PvP so much, you have nothing else to spend it on. But if these caches gave you a chance to get the Eagle Bearer or the Bighorn, then that'd be something. That would be something. That would be a reason for you to go into PvP more and get credits. So, I think there's a lot to look forward to in next season. We're gonna have some fun new things to play with. I think we're gonna have some really cool team support builds, and then the incursion. So I think all of that is gonna make a busy season. I think the season's gonna fly by in no time. We don't have a launch date.
Follow me.